Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism. And this video actually takes on healing. But before we get to that, I want to remind you, those of you who want to do a deeper dive on healing, go check out our video notes. There's details on my healing program of thousands of people who are committed to healing from narcissistic abuse. But let's take on this video. I want you to imagine the layers of an onion peeling away layer after layer until you get to the sort of the more solid core of the onion. Now I want you to imagine that onion is you, and that what is being peeled away layer after layer are the parts of you that make you you. To be in a narcissistic relationship, sadly, it's sort of finding yourself in a relationship that is peeling away the layers of you and then discarding them. Your humor, quirks, aspirations, emotions, beliefs, preferences, and hopes. One layer after the other. It's the only way the relationship with any narcissistic person can work. But here's the problem. It's not what you signed up for. You didn't know that that was what was happening. It wasn't literally like you said, okay, this year, I'm just going to peel it all away. I'm going to discard all of my quirks. Next year, I'm going to get rid of all of my emotions. All narcissistic relationships, again, are a gradual process of undoing you. You may have written it off as compromise or obedience, or you internalized the shame that was thrown at you for doing those things. When we are in a narcissistic relationship, all of our layers get pulled away and discarded. And that just leaves a sort of functionary core, which is consistent with what lots of survivors of narcissistic relationships say. They say, I sometimes feel like I'm going through the motions of life. I get up, I keep the trains running on time, but I'm often confused, and maybe this is as good as life gets. It's not. First, you may wonder, why does this happen? Why did my onion layers just all get to go away? Well, because there's only one reality that's permitted in a narcissistic relationship, and that's theirs. These relationships are a slow eradication using a combination of techniques: invalidation, shifting between good and bad days, gaslighting, manipulation, making you believe you want the same things as them, shaming you for your ambition, calling you overly dramatic when you show emotion, insulting you when you attempt or try something new, future faking you. These things take time. And when they are done, you start to believe that if I'm just better, if I was just less emotional, less challenging, if I just go along with what they want, if I keep things just so, then all of this will be okay. The good day, bad day thing happens because they don't give a damn about you as a separate person. So if by luck your interests happen to be aligned with theirs, or you make them look good or feel good, well, then that's a good day in your relationship. On most other days, your needs, your existence, your wants, it's an affront to them. And that's when you see all of the ugly narcissistic patterns come at you. But those good days make you think that maybe there is some control in this process for you. There isn't. No more than you can control the weather. It's their emotional space. You're just leasing space in it, and they reserve the right to evict you at any time you want and come in and tell you you're not doing your place right. So the longer-term survivor becomes the proverbial shell of themselves, that very inside core of the layered onion, that robot part of you that can get things done, but it's missing the poetry that's you. Your big laughter and capacity for joy and the silliness and the adventure and the courage and the ambition, all that stuff that's you, because none of that is permissible in a narcissistic relationship. The part that basically acts as a psychological servant to the narcissistic people, past and present, that's all that gets left after a while. I've worked with a lot of long-term survivors, those who have endured it from childhood, those in long-term committed relationships. And this shell, functioning, robotic core experience haunts many of them, which is why a major part of healing is to give yourself permission to find even the smallest joys and breathe them in, to journal anything to find yourself and find your way back to yourself. This whole process pisses me off to no end. Sure, we can get gaslighted and raged at and betrayed and cheated on and all of the misery that is the narcissistic relationship. But the sacrifice of so many people's good stuff, good people's good stuff, that's what angers me. The wake-up call for the world has to be that there's no pleasing them. To please a narcissistic person means that we have to become mind readers who have no needs, no feelings, no individuality, no autonomy, no hopes, no dreams, no aspirations, no achievements. And that we show up with what they want, when they want. We look the way they want, cook the way they want, work the way they want, screw the way they want, clean the way they want. Again, these relationships are psychological servitude. And what we know about servitude is that the employers, masters, people in charge have no interest in the sovereignty and separateness of the servant. They want them to do their job quietly and get out. That is not a relationship. That is a dehumanizing worker setup. You deserve better. I deserve better. We all deserve better. And the world deserves and needs to see you and your gifts. Start finding all those layers that were peeled away and find them and start gluing them back on. This is a slow, painful, arduous process, especially if this layer chopping happened as early as childhood. Finding your layers and gluing them back on is an act of defiance, of rebellion, and of salvation. The world needs the survivors to find their voices again, because without that, all we're going to get to hear is the noise, the anger, and the rage of the narcissistic folks amongst us. Thanks again.